Welcome to the future of money. Come with us on this journey into the world of Bitcoin, blockchain and crypto projects. You're going to meet the trailblazers. These people have changed my life and they may very well do the same for you. Welcome back, hard forkers. Those of you that follow this channel know that we're always endeavouring to highlight the best and brightest, the new innovations happening in the space, things that are new and happening. And I think we certainly found something of that with our guest today. Welcome along, Rick and Trippy from Ethanol. Good to have you here, guys.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
Yeah, so for the last couple of weeks, we've been having a look at your project very closely. Stefano was probably one of the very early adopters, I think. He's taken a great interest in it, as we all have on our team. So look, we'll do a Q&A session with you, but maybe we can kick off if the two of you could tell us a bit about yourselves and the project. Yeah, take it away, guys. Rick, maybe you want to start?
I'll let you go ahead and start. You're the interesting one.
Okay.
All right. So, yeah, hi, my name is Anupam Sharma, and I've been into development and programming since last 12 years. So I started when I was in like 10th class or in the high school. So since then, I mean, I've been programming a lot of things. Started with ZS OS. I did in 12. I was 18 years old when I launched a Linux-based OS operating system. And after that, I worked with several companies, sold a bit of them. I sold like 2 companies in the past. And 2018, I actually got into crypto. 2017, I got into crypto. So I worked with programming some projects. And 2020, I met Rick. And that's how it started. I mean, the problem with the gas was, I mean, as I was obviously working with contracts, so I had a lot of problem with gas. The main problem was when you deploy a contract, you actually, I mean, the gas price hits up, and you don't actually, I mean, you are not able to deploy it. Probably it's in sending, it's in pending position. And that was one of the cause I thought of Ethanol, or a token which could actually pay back for your gas fees. Because gas was a big problem. I was paying around $2,000 per day. And that's a big amount for a developer. And I thought that there are a lot of people like me who are interested in programming, but they can't. I mean, it's very expensive to pay for deploying contracts. So yeah, that's how we started with Ethanol. Yeah.
Fantastic. Rick, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, for sure. My name is Rick. I guess also known as Crypto Rick. I do have my own channel, little plug right there. But yeah, I was in the crypto space now since 2017 as well, making videos pretty much the entire time. And I was just hunting around in communities, and I met him, and we just kind of clicked. And we have something that's very rare in this space, and that's trust, right? And I think that goes further than anything else can in this space. So we worked together and really just brainstormed and came up with some great ideas for Ethanol, and it's our baby. I mean, we've seen it grow into such an amazing thing, and the exciting part is it's just the beginning, and that's what we're here to talk about today, is not just what we've done so far and what Ethanol's done so far, but really what we're doing with it, where it's going, and how this thing is going to continue to evolve.
Awesome. So Stefano, it was you were our team member that basically found Ethanol a few weeks ago. I'm very excited about it all. So I will let you take over here, sir, with a few questions.
Sure. Well, first of all, thank you guys, because it's been absolutely amazing for me, like since I started and I bought in. So very, very cool on that. I would like to start a bit like more on the overall idea and so on, because like you guys were the first ones that I found actually like on building like on gas cashback and so on. And on the other side, I would like to understand a little bit more compared to like the 1G. So the model like back in summer, obviously, I remember that people were like talking about like one inch was doing of like kind of like those future on gas price, exactly like for trying to mitigate those problems. Well, you guys took an approach that is completely different, almost easier, to be honest, on like, the don't have to overthink on like I buy now, I buy later and so on. Whenever you want to use that, just get like your cash back. Is there like, is this like the idea of like developing Ethanol came in place of like, taking it as an example, Chi, and then being like, okay, we don't like this approach, it's too complicated. Was that like part of the development process? Or did you guys just like, came up with this and be like, you know what, it would be super cool if I got 100% cash back on whatever I spent? Like, how did that structure came in place?
You like to
I don't
answer?
know for which one of you two is the question, but feel free.
I'll let him in.
Okay, so I'll start with it. Okay, so the main reason, as I told you, was the fees, right? So if you're deploying a contract back in September, if you remember, the gas fees was around 300, 350, and that's when it spiked, right? So I was deploying contracts, and it was very expensive to deploy a contract. And if you messed up with the contract, so it's going to cost you a lot of money, right? So the idea was, first of all, to schedule the transfers. So that was my first idea, to schedule a transfer. If I'm going to pay something, or if I'm going to deploy a contract, I want to schedule it for a particular gas fees. So let's see if I'm going to schedule it for 70 gas fees. And right now it's like 350. So I could schedule it for 70, and I could go to sleep. And whenever I wake up, I see it actually deployed. So the idea was that, and after that there was another idea hit, like, I mean, if we could get a cash back for that, right? Because right now, if you see in the non-virtual world, you can get cash backs for several things, right? If you're doing some transactions, if you are actually paying your credit card bills, if you're things like that, you get a cash back and you have a refund mechanism. So I was thinking, I mean, if we have this kind of mechanism on blockchain, because blockchain is all about gas, right? You'll have to pay gas even now, even after 10 years, because more and more people get into blockchain, more and more data goes into the blockchain network. You will be paying gas for that. All the information that is processed by the blockchain is going to be expensive, right? I mean, right now it's expensive. Later on, we can have some technologies which can actually reduce the gas fees. But at that point of time, the traffic will increase. More and more people will put information into the into the blockchain. And if you think about someone trying to put a message on blockchain, it's going to be expensive, right? So we need to have something which pays for your gas fees. Right. So this is, I'll get back to other things which we are working on right now. So this is how we started on this gas refund thing.
So on this note, just like for a general kind of like a understanding. Sorry?
I just said it's necessity is mother of invention.
Right, exactly.
Oh, yeah. That's true. On that part, like obviously to Jordan has mentioned that at the beginning. I had a look at like your Telegram as well, like to kind of like answer the classic general questions. So like, how does it work and so on? Because like, for example, you need that minimal of one Enol in order to like get the cash back. When you're buying for Uniswap, you get like that 4% tax. So therefore, like you need to buy a little bit more than one token, and so on and so on. Like if we want to like explain to someone for the first time the start to end on how to actually get the cash back, what are the correct steps in order to do that, so that there is not going to be misunderstanding of people being like, oh, but you told me that I needed one, but now I need to do 55 transactions in order to achieve one?
Yeah, so I would say the best steps would be, if you already have Ethereum, right? You have to have the Ether. So you would then want to go to Uniswap, and you would purchase the Ethanol token, the ENOL token. We recommend you get that token address only from our website, because Uniswap is one of those things that they can put a fake one up there. There is a 4% tax on the buy. That way, that feeds the reward pool. So I would suggest when you're doing so, there's two things you can do. You can set your slippage to 4.2, 4.3%, or a little trick that I actually learned in my Telegram from somebody else is when you type in the ETH amount, if you go down and you change the ethanol amount and just remove the decimals, you don't actually have to increase the slippage. You can do that on a much lower slippage. So it's one of those crazy Uniswap tricks. But you do need to have at least one Enol to qualify for cashback. So knowing there's a 4% tax, you must buy more than one, or else you will do the 0.96 thing that you see all day, every day, happening if you're watching the DEX tools trades, right? So that is very common, you know, I guess it's one of the downfalls, so to speak, to Uniswap and all that. But it's also something that we do enjoy, because that helps build the community. Because somebody will come in and they'll ask the question, right? And they'll get an answer either from myself or from Anupam or from anybody else in the Telegram, because we have a very active community in there that is willing to help people out, which I think is very, very valuable in and of itself. So really, that's all you have to understand is you want to get it off of Uniswap, you have to account for the 4% fee and do so via slippage. Once you do that with Ethanol, it's very, very easy. You don't have to stake it. You don't have to do any of that. It's happening automatically. Your cashback rewards are happening automatically. You would just go to the app and claim it when you're ready to claim it.
And the system is working on every single type of transaction that has been done, obviously on the Ethereum blockchain. So I could use Uniswap, I could use Balancer, I could use 1inch, I could use, I don't know, OpenSea and buy some NFTs, Braid and Axion, X Infinity, whatever things I do, it's always calculated on the gas price. Is that correct?
Correct. Top of all your gas is covered, and we just actually we're happy to announce that now self transactions, right? So even if you're sending it to yourself to clear the nonce or anything like that, you know, sometimes that you didn't send enough gas, that's getting taken care of as well, and also failed transactions. So some pretty cool and exciting stuff there.
That's cool. So it's covered like the entire 100% of the things that you can do at that point. That's very beautiful. Moving like on the roadmap. So you guys have like put this roadmap that basically like February is going to be like a month that it's super packed, obviously. Checking also like on the website and so on. The part that I'm very like interested on is the Bitcoin part. So how would it work like in terms of like a user experience for the person? Do we at that point as stakers, as holder of the Enol token, do we need to like add our BTC address to like our dashboard in order to do that? Do you have like any idea, description on like how that process is going to work? Is the cashback going to be calculated in you know, the 2.5% on the ETH and 2.5 on the BTC, or are the two things the value combined together? And so on, like whatever you want to share about that part, basically.
All right. So we are actually in process of testing it right now. So we are actually deploying, a test net where we can actually test it. So it's not fully tested right now. So I'll just tell you a little bit about it. Obviously, you have to verify your wallet address first of all, so that we can see if we are paying for the correct wallet address or not. So that's the first thing which you have to do. And obviously the tiers will be different. It won't be the same. So tiers will be different. The cashback will be different. Everything will be different. And the process will also be very different. But it will be in Ethanol token. So yeah. Right now, what we are working on, that's very important. We talked about the roadmap. Let me just come back to the roadmap of Ethanol. So right now, what we are testing right now is creating a token which will actually pay for your gas fees. So that's very important, and that's what we have already tested, and that would be live very soon. So it will be using GSN, so that's gas station network. It's a technology which helps you relay and forward, use relayers and forwarders and routers to use your token instead of Ethereum. So in that case, you will be able to use a token instead of Ethereum to pay for a gas fees. And along with it, as we spoke about Chi token and other gas tokens, there's another token, gastoken.io, which you can actually implement into your contract to get some, to make gas little cheaper. We have also implemented that in it. So that's what we are working on right now. That's priority. We do have a team working on BTC cashback as well, but it's not tested, so I won't be able to tell you exactly how it works.
Fair enough. So the next big update is basically going to be the opportunity for people to, instead of using the Ethereum to pay like for gas, is going to be like this other token. And so people at that point are they going to receive the cashback on that, or are they basically going to get like free gas and then like a cashback on top of that?
Yeah, that's what we're thinking of. If everything works fine, we'll be giving the cashback on that token instead of Ethanol. Yeah, right. So it will work with Ethereum. It will work with all the ERC20 tokens and working with all other tokens as well. So it will work for them, and that's how it will work, right?
Understood. Moving on, another section that I know that a lot of people that follow the channel and especially Sean are very interested in, money. So you guys have done the airdrop for all the Enol holder for the GasG token. And I think that like you were airdropping, now correct me on this because I'm not 100% sure, but I think that you were dropping like 40 something per every Enol that you were holding or something like that, I think.
So GasG team, they wanted, they wanted to do a partnership. And the reason for the partnership was that we are paying for the gas fee for distribution, right? So if we talk about other competition, they are actually charging the users for the distribution fees. And some of them are doing it manually or through a script. We're doing it through a smart contract to make it more transparent. And we do spend around $2, $1.5 to $2 per transfer. So if you're sending for like 1,000 people or maybe 700 people or 800 people, so it's like $1,500, $1,600 per distribution. So we're paying for that distribution, and instead of selling our tokens, Ethanol tokens, and paying for the distribution, we accepted a term by Gas Gains where we can actually use their tokens to receive the cash back. So that's how the partnership came into place. And they did an airdrop of 50 tokens for Ethanol holders. And they have a 5% fee, so that was 47.5.
That's why. Okay. Sorry, I forgot to calculate that 5% over there. Got it.
So that's how it actually works. I mean, all of these gas tokens, they have some kind of transaction fees. But eventually, obviously, as I was speaking, I mean, it won't actually be sustainable if we talk about just the gas fees or just the, transaction fees to keep this all running. You need a lot of features. That's why we were continuously working on other features which you can bring into Ethanol so that people can actually use that features, and it all fills into the reward pool which will be eventually used for distribution.
Before entering like on that part of like the fee structure, as well as like the other project that you guys are developing, the Gastify, one thing on that, I don't know if you can share or not, but to me at least, like by being an holder, I receive a 0.2 ETH worth of GasG like for free. So it's, on top of the cashback, on top of like the appreciation of the token per se, like the airdrop as well, like you guys are literally throwing free money at me right now. So I'm very happy on that. I'm not gonna lie. Obviously I'm asking for that because it seems to me that like you are trying to like build these things where you are the center puzzle of all these like gas farming ecosystem that is being built. Can we expect that holders that there's going to be like other airdrops in the future, or was the GasG like, a one-time, a very sweet stimulation package and that's it?
So yeah, we are working with, as you know, Gasify, the new project. It's a web, it's an aggregator for gas tokens, because eventually, we have a lot of tokens coming up. Today also we heard of like 1-2 more tokens being launched. So we need to have an aggregator, and most of these tokens are these people. Actually they can launch the projects, but it's very difficult to actually maintain how you actually reward the users, and that's how everybody is failing in that part. Because for rewarding, you need to have a transparent, a contract which everybody could see. You can, that's how we did it, because we didn't want it to do manual transactions or have people claiming it from a script or something like that, because it's prone to attacks, right? Eventually, once you reach a point where you are, where hackers and everybody are interested, you need to have a secure system or audited contract which is public and people can see it, and you can actually claim gas from that. So most of these people are, failing to understand how to do that, and then eventually making it visible on your dashboard. So you have to have a dashboard where you can see all of this information. So that's what we're working in Gasify. We're creating a one dashboard where you can see all of these tokens, you can claim all of these tokens, and you have an AI bot where you can actually put in, which actually uses your wallet address to see how much transaction you are doing. And according to that, it will tell you how much gas you need, how much tokens you can buy to actually cover up the fees, or even then you can earn on it, right? So you can just optimize it according to your needs. So that's what we're doing with Gasify. And I'm sorry, I messed with your question. What was the question?
If we can expect like new airdrops coming our way.
Right. So Gasify is all about this thing. And once Gasify, we have other things coming into Gasify. Like we are also planning of doing a platform where we can actually help those new gas tokens come into, enter the sphere. And that's if these people are interested, we can obviously do some airdrop for Ethanol holders. Yeah.
Two questions on that, obviously, because there is a good segue on that. One, because I know that like Gastify is gonna have like the pre-sale pretty soon, and that like there is a bonus for Enol token holders and so on. So if you can like kind of like give the people like the important dates, the cost, the structures, how much tokens they need in order to qualify for like the pre-sales and so on. That's question number one. And number two, it would be like, if I'm someone new, because obviously like looking at Gastify as like is an aggregator on everything. And you see also like on the two websites, one is like telling me like, oh, you can get like up to 350% cash back on this. And Ethanol is telling me like, oh, you can get up to like 100% or like 90% if we consider like the 10% fees. So if I'm someone new at that point, I never like touch anything, in your opinion, I know that you're going to tell me both, but if I'm someone new, which one should I focus first at that specific case?
I would say that's why we made Gasify, right? Because gas farming, we were speaking about the metrics. It started like we started in, I think, December, and it was like $202 million market cap. If we talk about fully diluted cap, right now it's around 32 million in 2 months. So it's rising, right? Gas farming is going to rise. And as we see new DEX, and because DEX, I don't trade on Binance. I usually trade on decentralized exchanges. And Uniswap is rising, and you have Uniswap version 3 also being launched this year. We'll have a lot of people migrating into DEX instead of centralized exchanges. And you'll have a lot of other things that will be coming, and that will increase the gas fees, and that will also increase the transaction fees and everything. So we'll have a lot of people coming into gas farming. And that's the reason we made Gasify, so that people can understand what is gas farming from Gasify. And they have one dashboard where they can see all the analytics. Right now, I receive a lot of messages of people who have made sheets where they can see how much they're getting the cash back, what is the market cap and stuff like that. So all of that we are implementing into Gasify, where people can see all of that. And from that, they can choose which coin they want to own, right? So obviously,
I think it's important that we everybody understands, right? It's not really an Ethanol or Gasify. You're going to want to hold both for the simple reason that Ethanol gives you the cash back, right? Gasify is going to give you a bonus on the cash back you're earning through Ethanol in the other platforms. So just holding Gasify by itself will not earn you cash back on your gas fees. That the perk of Gasify is earning additional cash back from the other platforms, right? So now we're doing something that not many people out there do. We're not just embracing the competition, we're helping the competition to create a niche, to create this new DeFi ecosystem called gas farming. And there's not many people that have the confidence out there to go ahead and say, you know what, competitors, we're not going to try to crush you. We're going to help you. We're going to show users how to benefit from your platform. And not only that, we're going to help other projects launch, even if they're not fully technically capable. We can help them with that, right? Because we see this segment as something that can absolutely continue to grow. And finally, we can have the users of the Ethereum network be the ones that are profiting instead of just the miners.
That's cool. That's cool. That's also like answered the question perfectly. So I first need to buy all the other tokens, and then once I'm done with that, get into Gastify. In on that things like the first part of the question, what are the important data and date also to keep in mind? So when is the pre-sales? What is going to be the prices? Because I know that you guys have mentioned all of these on Telegram, but like a lot of people are not obviously on your Telegram. So
I don't like to read either. I don't like to read either. So
if you can
February
give me an
10th,
overview.
February 10th, 1800 UTC. So 6 p.m. UTC time on February 10th. That's when round one for the pre-sale will begin for Gasify. Round one is exclusive for Ethanol holders. So you must hold at least one Ethanol to qualify for this round. Now this is going to be, the price is going to be 1,400 tokens per ETH in round one. And there is no limit on round one. So if the Ethanol holders want to buy it all up, they absolutely can. All right, so that's something you want to keep in mind. If you're not holding Ethanol and you want to take advantage of this, it might be a good time to go and get yourself one. That way you can take advantage of that round one in the pre-sale. If you don't, that's fine too. Round two will be 1,250 tokens per ETH, and then round three will be 1,150 tokens per ETH. We'll be listing this at 1,000 tokens per ETH on Uniswap.
Is there a limit for holding that one?
There's not going to be any limit.
Like to qualify for the cashbacks?
So yeah, so for additional cashback tiers, they're going to start at 5%. So now this 5% cashback, again, isn't off your gas fees. This is off of what you've earned in that wallet from the other platform. So if you've earned $1,000 between 4 different platforms, you're going to get 5%, so $50 from that. Okay, so that takes 1,500 tokens. Then you'll have a 4,000 token option for an additional 10%. There's a 9,000 token option for 20%, 15,000 token option for 30%, 22,000 tokens for 40%, and then the 50% is the max here. It's 35,000 tokens that you must hold. Now you won't have to stake these. This is just going to work just like Ethanol. Just hold them in your wallet, and you'll be able to claim these bonus rewards off the Gasify DApp whenever you want. They don't expire. They are in a smart contract as well, so you can claim them whenever you feel comfortable.
What's the supply again of the Gasify?
It's going to be a 10 million total supply.
10 million. Okay. Cool. I can see some whale wars going with that pre-sale.
Yes, that's the plan.
Jeez. That's insane.
Fantastic.
Just keeps going up, more and more percentage back.
Yeah, and that's really what it's about, right? Is I know Stefano was concerned in his previous videos about people abusing it, so to speak, right, for sustainability. And that's why I was like, no, talk to me. Like, don't worry, right? Because the sustainability isn't from the 4% fees. That's not sustainability. The sustainability is from this continued innovation and leading the way in this category. And that's going to be the difference between what's going to make people successful and not successful in this. So that's why I was so excited to come on and talk to you guys, because I feel opposite. I say get all 4 of those tokens and go make 50% extra from Gasify and make money on your ETH gas fees, and let the projects, us, worry about sustainability by innovating. Because just like innovation was created out of necessity for Ethanol, right, because of all the crazy gas fees we were paying, there'll be more innovation to keep this bad boy running, to keep this train on the tracks.
Fantastic.
So on that note, actually, because and then like I don't have any other question, I guess, but that's probably like the most important one. So on I mentioned that when I had like a look at the projects before, I check on Telegram as well, and obviously the question is exactly that: the sustainability, the 10% plus 4%, what it's gonna happen once the reward pool it's over. there is, I think that that's like the major concern that everybody has. Like if the rewards pool runs out, then, you know, it doesn't matter if you're actually holding like something that is worth 1 to 10 ETH right now, because if you're ending up getting nothing at one point because there are no more rewards, the project is gonna like go down the cliff. How does that works, and like what's like the future plan to actually mitigate that in details, obviously? And the other side is also the fact that like you mentioned like that obviously jumping on multiple projects, it's a good thing, but you guys are in charge obviously of Ethanol and
Yes.
and Gastify at this point. So that development of like trying to mitigate that risk is on that, but like obviously you cannot talk for the other projects, but isn't that like a risk at that point that if like one of those projects of gas farming collapse down as well, the entire system might do like a domino effect at that point? Like all on yours, like address all concern that that a person can have on the project, basically.
All right, so I'll start with the technical bit and then Rick can answer it. Okay, so starting with it, once we started, I told you about it. First feature which we wanted to launch was scheduled transfers, right? So I mean, launching small features which will help users who are not holding Ethanol, they can actually make transactions by scheduling it. Like, let's say if a person, I want to send $50 and to a person, and the transaction cost is like $10 or $15. It's not, I mean, something I would like to do, right? Because I'm paying someone $15 or $20, and then I'm paying a gas of $15 to $20. If you have something like scheduled transfer, which you can actually schedule the transfer for $1 fees or $2 fees and save a lot of money. So some features like this will actually help fill the reward pool. Obviously, that won't be enough. We have guaranteed transfers as well, guaranteed transactions in which you guarantee that the transaction go through even if the the gas price spike. So these are one of the two features which we actually have made public, and these are coming very soon. Scheduled transfer was scheduled to launch this week, and we probably think it could be launched. We had some problem with MetaMask to push the transaction to the MetaMask, but we are working on it and it's already resolved. So these are the few things. And the other thing which I spoke about was the DEX token which we're working on, that won't be a pre-sale. So we'll be just giving the cash back through, we'll be giving the cash back in that token. And that token will be used for instead of Ethereum, that will be used, right? So, that's the idea, to just keep it running and innovating. Yeah, obviously that's what Rick talked about. Over to you, Rick.
Yeah, right. And I think that's the key, right? We have the features coming, and there will be more. Anybody that knows a developer knows these guys don't stop. You got to reel them in sometimes, but they're always finding new ways to create new features and change the game that people have just been playing for so long. And I think that's important. A question that you asked: would the collapse of one project impact a domino effect? I don't think so, right? How many rug pulls were there today on Uniswap? Quite a few, right? But guess what's going to be here tomorrow? Uniswap, right? And there's going to be a new degen token for people to ape into, right? Because that's what people are loving. And the reality is, by creating Gasify, we're going to do our best to not have that happen. We're creating something here where if somebody is in charge of a project and is concerned about their sustainability, reach out to us. We'll work with you to help you innovate and keep this healthy, because long term, we want this to be a very, very healthy segment of the crypto community, and we want to be the faces of it, right? And so in order for us to be as successful as we want to be in this field, we need everybody else to be successful as well. So we want to help these other projects. We want to help them find new ways to innovate and new ways to be sustainable, because we're not afraid of the competition, because to us, this isn't really a competition. We are sitting on the mountain, but we want the mountain to grow, right? We want everybody to win around us. And I think that goes back to the core beliefs of crypto, right? Crypto in general, there are some scammers out there. There are some scumbags out there, because greed does bring out the worst in people. But crypto at its core is supposed to be community-based. It's supposed to be the people taking back the power, the people taking back the money. That doesn't mean I want to get rich and you guys not get rich, right? That's not what crypto is designed for. So if there's projects out there that are having a hard time with sustainability, you know how to reach us. We'll help you.
Awesome. Yeah, we'll have all the links are below this video for everybody watching. Look, it's been absolutely fascinating chat so far, guys. We really do look forward to covering you guys on the regular. It'd be great to have you back for a live AMA with our audience in the next couple of weeks as well. If you can fit that into your busy schedules, I'm sure we're going to have plenty of additional questions. We'll obviously do some handhold videos on the utility, how to get involved for our audience. Mr. Gonzo, any additional questions from you? I think Stefano's covered most things very well. Thanks for that,
Sorry.
That's a great answer.
Apologies. I didn't want to talk all the time.
Well, yeah, I mean, you did bring us this project, and thanks for that. It's fascinating to talk with you guys. Mr. Gonzo, any questions?
You got an automatic wallet distribution tool or something? Jesus, I got too many wallets that I want to use this on.
You're gonna have to buy it for all of them.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm doing. One for here, minus 4%, minus 4%. It's like, is it better to buy 2 different transactions and then transfer, or buy one and then split it? Or, but it's all good. Yeah, I like it. I mean, I didn't jump on as early, Stefano. I just bought the Dipster the last couple of days, and yeah, I'm like, whoa, holy crap! Look at all that return already. This is crazy. It's like, there's those websites that tell you how much money you've spent on gas on each address.
Yep.
Fuck, I don't even want to see that. I don't even want to see it. Like, it would just so this is
actually a nice bot we have in the Ethanol and Gasify Telegram that we created as well. It's a gas bot, so if you are curious, you don't even have to go to the website. You can use your Telegram. So we're just innovating all over the place, and this is a very, very exciting and fun time for us right now. So it's been great chatting with you guys about it.
You guys got the gas alarm? Trippy, you were talking about waiting for time to send transactions. Do you have you can set when it hits 50 gwei, send me a ping? Do you guys have something like that yet?
We are working on the scheduled transfers. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about the alarm. You can schedule it first, and then you can go to sleep and you can do it.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Everybody's constantly checking gas and everything.
Yeah, we're trying to innovate around the thing. I mean, whatever it, we're also working on limit orders and something like that. And we're trying to innovate all around this gas thing to solve the problem. And that's the main idea, is to solve the problem of the gas fees. Because eventually, as I think I saw your videos earlier, you was talking about a trade which had like a $50 or $100 profit, and you can't make the trade because of the gas fee. So, I mean, overall, the idea is to solve the problem. And not only for this, there's a lot of contracts which are deployed. Like if you talk about a token, because the dApps, all of these dApps will require you to manually claim claim rewards, claim tokens. And as dApps are going mainstream, we have a lot of new dApps coming. You have a lot of transactions of spending. I mean, you got a lot of money spent over the transactions, and it's increasing day by day, right? So, I mean, you need something to obviously help it. And that's what we're trying to do. We are also creating something for the contracts. I'm not sure if you have heard about GSN. GSN is something which you can implement inside a contract to make the gas free for the users, but instead the contract holder pays for the gas fees, right? So that's a little difficult for a person who's not that technical, who is actually deploying the contract. But we are also creating a code which can actually implement inside the contract and use Ethanol for that. So we're trying to innovate, around this area. If you have any, whatever feedback you have for the gas, you have any problem, reach out to us. We'll try to resolve it by creating something for you as well.
Sorry, Trippy, one thing on that, like from a technical and a development point of view. So you guys are going to develop basically like a gas station where instead of paying like in ETH, you're paying like with your own token. Is that correct?
Right. So that's the main thing, and that's one of the most important things which we're working on. We think this is much greater than what we have right now, and we think after we develop, we'll have a lot of other people developing it as well. Maybe some DEX also developing it, but it's something same like what Binance does, right? You can buy BNB coins and that pays for gas fees. So that's what we're trying to do in the DEX sphere. So
it's currently. Can people play with that? Like, is that like an alpha? Is like an open document? Can people that just plug and play there?
You
How does it work?
can't do that. Actually, I mean, there's a GSN, which allows you to deploy a contract where people can actually pay with their tokens. I mean, actually, you can pay with your tokens, but eventually the contract holder is paying in Ethereum, right? We're trying to play from last 2.5 months. We are working on it to actually deploy a thing which will actually work for all of those tokens. So in GSN, you can work with one token, but we're trying to work with all of these tokens and Ethereum. So we have already tested it. It's working fine. We are just optimizing a little bit for a little lower gas fees so that people use it for that case as well. I mean, instead of Ethereum, if you get like 10%, 20% less fees in our token, people will be using our token. So that's what we think is the future of all of this. Obviously, cashback and everything is good, but if we talk about, some discount from Ethereum, if we get like 10%, 20% less, and people are using our token, I think many big players will be also interested in it, like Uniswap and other things once it comes out. So that's why, as we talked about sustainability, we think that once this is launched, obviously we'll be paying in that thing because we only have 10,000 tokens, right, in Ethanol. And I think 55% of them are unlocked. And eventually we'll obviously run out of Ethanol if we talk about next 6 months or maybe 1 year. So we have to obviously find out a way. And that's the reason we want to start with GSN thing, but we knew that it will take a lot of time to develop this thing, because initially when I spoke to Rick, I spoke about this thing only. I mean, GSN, we need to do something like that. But when I spoke to all other guys, they were like, it was very complicated. It will take a lot of time. And eventually we started with this thing. And we had the plan initially to like eventually use this thing for transactions, for giving the cash back so that people can then play with it. And they don't have to worry about Ethereum if they don't have Ethereum in their wallets. Yeah.
Got it. That's cool. That's like,
yeah.
From a development point of view, it's super insanely good if you can actually like bypass that. Because that's the thing. Like you're obviously mentioning like the transaction and so on, but you mentioned at the beginning on how much money it costs to deploy it, and like I can totally relate because like in our specific case in my company, when we need to deploy like one new client, we're looking at like $2,000, $3,000, even $4,000 in Ethereum cost just for that. So that's from a coding point of view, from an innovation and development point of view, it's huge. Like it can solve so many issues and problems. That this
exactly,
is beautiful.
Right now it's like 100 million spent per month in gas fees. And obviously it's going to increase. It's increasing already. It was like, I think in June, July, it was like 30 million. And now it's like 3 times. So it's going to increase in future. And Uniswap is spending most of the fees. I mean, in Uniswap, we are spending most of the fees, like 35 million. And obviously, I mean, they have to be a solution for that. I know, I mean, Ethereum 2.0 is going to release, and that will actually lower the gas fees. But by then we'll have a lot of other things which will eventually, I mean, increase the traffic in that thing as well. So initially it could be good for a few months, and later on we'll have a lot of things, because I think all the development is coming, is going to be, I mean, it's as Ethereum is going, I mean, it's going insane. Crypto is going insane. We'll have a lot of people, a lot of new things coming up, and Uniswap has actually, made things easier for new tokens, for new applications. And yeah, that's what we think. And we have new and new DEX, launching every day. And I actually use DEX instead of Binance or anything else. Yeah. I trust that.
Awesome. Well, look, this has been a really fantastic deep dive with you guys. We're going to be following your project on the weekly. Obviously, we've been in there for the last couple of weeks, really exploring it. It's just an absolute pleasure to have you on our channel and have a chat about it all. Well done, Stefano, for bringing this to us all. So if anyone watching, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. There's links below to get in touch with these guys. I'm sure there's many of you that are going to want to do that. And we'll be looking at it on the regular. There's some handhold videos coming up as well. We'll really sort of talk you through the whole process here I know a lot of the newbies, this might be a little bit difficult to understand at this point, but we're here to help you with that. So guys, thanks very much for coming on the channel. Would love to have you back here in the very near future.
Forward to it. Thank you guys for having us.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you.
So thank you for watching, everybody. I'm sure this has absolutely sparked your interest if this is new to you. So stay with us for more. And guys, if you want to hang around for a minute, we'll have a chat offline now. But thanks, audience. We'll see you all very soon. Cheers now. Thanks, guys.